We have to change from doubter to believer.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, deflated in a way, not in a way. Of course, we're deflated. 5 defeats in a row at Anfield is not acceptable. Don't care about injuries. Don't care about anything. It's not acceptable. So, don't expect me to be too nice this morning. I'm sure that would be something you'd all agree with. Totally behind Klopp, 100%. I'm going to go through the players' ratings first, and then we're going to move on to some topics that's really annoyed me yesterday, and also I'm sure annoyed yourselves. So, starting off with player ratings. Good morning, everyone. For a start, sorry. Alisson in goal. Gets a 6. 6 rated for me. He looks down, to be honest with you, which is understandable, but he didn't look very happy in himself, which you can imagine there's a major reason for with losing his father and stuff like that. So I do really feel sorry for him, but at the same time I've got to give him ratings based on his performance. Made a good save towards the end, but Alisson 6. Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, 6. Can't remember him doing anything great in the game, and again his corners constantly hitting the first near man, constantly avoiding contact with a red shirt, a 6. Centre back, Kabach, 6. Again, can't remember him doing something outstanding, can't remember him doing anything too bad. He's only 20 years old. It's going to take time for him to adapt to the way we play, but 6 for Kabach. Fabinho, 6. I know there's going to be a theme here. 6 is about bang average, and I think he was about that. Made a couple of good tackles, but he's not getting any more than a 6. Robbo, 6 again. I'm going to keep again going up and down the left wing, but again cutting back, passing it into Genie rather than swinging a ball in. When he did swing a ball in, again, like Trent, failed to hit a red shirt, 6. So that whole defensive back line got a 6 last night. Midfield 3. Curtis Jones looked good on the ball, you know, always available, always calm and assured on the ball. I'd give him a 7. I thought again he puts himself about and didn't do too bad last night. So 7 for Curtis Jones. Genie in the midfield, I was going to say 5, but I'll give him a 6 again, because 6 is bang average, and that's what he was, bang average yesterday. And do you know what's really irritated me about this man? He's demanding to be paid the 3rd highest earner at Liverpool, behind Salah, and I think it's Mane. I think it might be one of them two. No, Van Dijk. And for me, if you want to be categorised as the 3rd biggest earner at Anfield, then you've got to be able to add goals to your midfield display, and he doesn't. And it's another thing I'm going to get onto a bit later about regarding the fact that we just do not shoot in midfield. So 6 for Genie. Thiago, 6. Passed the ball about, but that comes as bread and butter to him. Passing the ball about to Thiago is like me going for a walk to the shop. It's as simple and as easy to him as that, so I'm not going to pull any trees with his rating. 6. Front 3. Sadio Mane put himself about, as always, as to be expected. Didn't do anything great. Should have scored with that one-on-one where he completely fluffed it. There's something going on with him and Mohamed Salah, which I'll get to again in the video later. 6 as well. Salah, 6 as well. I'm going to, again, 6 is a number where I say it's bang average. You can't give him below a 6, because that means it would totally disgraceful. And if you start going into 4s and 5s, you're being a little bit too harsh. Again, hug the touchline too much. He's always too far out wide, and I said at half time on my video that he needs to go more central, and then Klopp put him more central and then took him off. That surprised me. So 6 for Salah. Bobby, I could give him a 5, but again 6 is bang average. So basically every single player bar Curtis Jones, who got 7, 6 for Bobby Firmino. I always worry when Liverpool, when he doesn't play well, we don't seem to play well. As soon as he starts linking up and giving the ball away, then I know that we're not going to be on form today. So that's the player ratings out of the way. So that's that done. So Sixes for everyone bar Curtis Jones. Now let's get on to the situation where Mohamed Salah's agent thinks it's acceptable to put a dot as a Twitter tweet. What's he trying to say? Someone can sign on the dotted line. Go on then, sign on the dotted line. I've been saying it for 18 months and I'll continue saying it. Mohamed Salah will leave. I've said it from day one and I'll say it again. The only reason he hasn't gone already is because Barcelona haven't got a penny, Real Madrid have not got any money, and there's been a pandemic. I worked at Anfield and I said this. I spoke to a few people that I know, right, and they said that he'd already sort of said that once he won the league with Liverpool that we would move on. And we've got to look at the structure as to who we replace him with. Like, is it going to be Erling Haaland? I know Mbappe sounds like you're reaching for the stars, but is it going to be someone like that? With him being taken off yesterday, that's certified it for me now. That's just nailed it on, because Bobby Firmino should have come off for Diego Jota, in my opinion, because Bobby Firmino was awful, and you need to keep your best goal scorer on the pitch to score the goal. That was my opinion. Klopp went for Salah, and I just think to myself, is that because he knows he can upset Salah, because Salah's going to be going anyway? He doesn't want to upset Mane, because Mane he wants to keep, because he knows Mane's going to stay, and Bobby, he loves Bobby, doesn't he? And I think Bobby will come back when the fans are. I really do think Bobby Firmino is a player that can play in front of the fans a lot more than he does when he's playing in an empty stadium. It's just some players suffer with that. So again, I'll go back to the conversation that I know I've had on this, and a few of you have heard before. We have to now look at the next 5 years of trying to win the league. And for me, with two 28-year-old centre forwards, no, three 28-year-old centre forwards, I think one of them might be 29 now, I don't know. We need to freshen it up. Diego Jota looked really sharp when he came on yesterday. I thought he looked like he was, I tell you what, if that's the way he's been training, then in my opinion he should have started, because he looked like the only one making direct runs down the middle, and it looked like the only one that would score. So I think if we'd have had Jota on from the beginning, I'm very confident he would have scored. But the injuries, I'm not having it. I'm not having the injuries being used as an excuse anymore, because I'll tell you why. Injuries are only at the back. They're only in the defence, right? The defence was sound last night, really, in my opinion. You know, there wasn't many chances where you thought, oh God, the defence was terrible. But if you go 90 minutes at Anfield with only one shot on target, and that was a header by Wijnaldum, then that's got nothing to do with your defensive problems. That's got to do with the midfield that don't shoot. Now, I go back to it, and I always go back to it. Every time Philippe Coutinho had the ball on the inside left, you knew that he was trying to bend it into the top corner with his right foot. Every time. And how many goals did we get from Philippe Coutinho pulling the trigger all the time? Or Steven Gerrard pulling the trigger? We don't shoot. So it's easy to say, when someone takes a low block, like Chelsea did, once they scored the first goal, the second half, Chelsea didn't even come out to try and score. They came out to just sit back. And all we're doing is pinging it left, back to the middle, right, back to the right, back to the middle, back to the left, back to Alisson. And it's all so easy. We're playing straight in front of Chelsea. Whereas there's so many times we get the ball, like Robertson, he won't cross, and because he doesn't cross it, he squares it to Gina. Gina never shoots. So then he just squares it to Thiago. Thiago doesn't shoot. Curtis Jones doesn't shoot. So I just look at it like this. We've got no goals in the midfield three. No goals at all, right? So that takes away the chances of us scoring. In a game of football, you need quite a few opportunities to win a football match. In open play, if you can't score from open play, your next best chance is a free kick. We don't look like scoring in a month of Sundays at free kicks. A corner, we can't even hit a red shirt. So in my opinion, we've lost everything with the Coutinhos and Steven Gerrards going. Now, I know it's easy to say that was in the past. I get that. But you've got to sign somebody that can do that. And I've been saying it, and I'll say it again. I personally would bring in Erling Haaland. If you sell Salah, get the 150 million, yeah, Mbappe is top choice. But is he going to come to us? I don't know. It might happen, it might not. But I'd go for Erling Haaland, and I said Jack Grealish. And even that Harvey Barnes at Leicester's good, but I still prefer Jack Grealish. Because to me, he creates things. He can dance around people. He can go ghost. He glides around people. He wins multiple free kicks. right? So to me, we're lacking somebody in the midfield. The defence last night was sound, really, in my opinion. It wasn't ripped to bits by Chelsea. We lost 1-0. 1-0. And it was the fact that we couldn't shoot or create. I mean, 90 minutes. Our goal record at Anfield in the last 5 games is shocking. That's got nothing to do with the defence. Yeah, you could say, I'll put Fabinho in the midfield free. Well, fair enough, put Fabinho in the midfield free. But then again, Fabinho's still not going to score us any goals, is it? It's still going to be a defensive free. If James Milner comes on, yeah, he puts himself about, but it's still going to be a defensive free. We don't have a creative attacking midfielder, which goes back to why Klopp wanted Nabil Fekir. It goes back to that. It goes back to the fact that even Minamino's knocking him in now for Southampton. But again, why did he not play? Why was he not given the chance? It goes back to that. So I look at it like this, right? I'm sure we're all disappointed this morning. That's the reason why I didn't go live last night, because it would have been fresh and everyone would have been angry and stuff like that. But we have to replace Gini Wijnaldum in the summer with an attacking midfielder that can score you 8 to 10 goals a season, like Man City have. You know, this is what we need. They've got a De Bruyne and all that, but he chips in with goals as well. So, and the front three, they need pressure on them. Jota looks brilliant. I actually do think that he's going to go on to be an absolute legend at Liverpool. I think he's brilliant. But we need somebody else. There's nobody else to come off that bench. Are you telling me you're sat in this room right now, whatever room you're in, and I'm talking like this, and you're telling me you're confident that when our front three are not firing in that game, you're confident somebody's coming off that bench that can score you the goals, bar Jota? To me, you need another striker. We've got 3 strikers, so in my opinion, you need 3 more, really, or at least 2. 2 more to come off the bench. I went back to it when I said Diego Costa would have been a plan B. You know, throwing it. The most frustrating thing was we're throwing the ball in the box and nobody can head the ball. It's so frustrating. We're taking corners. Nobody can head the ball. So you take out the goals that we can't score from at the moment. We're not winning matches. That's why. We can't score from set pieces because nobody can head the ball. We can't score from free kicks because nobody can take a free kick. We can't score from outside the box because nobody shoots. There's 3 situations there, right there and then, that we can't get a goal from. So that leaves us down to trying to score the perfect goal. And I go back to it like I used to say, it was like Arsenal when they used to try and walk the ball in. There's something going on. And I'm just going to say this, and I have to always say this because you always get loads of comments. I'm not saying that I want Mohamed Salah to go, but I've been through this too many times. I've seen Torres' body language before he left. Suarez, just the same. But the only good thing with Suarez was he'd knocked 30 goals a season in for you whilst he was pissed off, right? And maybe that's what Salah's doing as well. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say to you, and it goes back to this as well, why didn't we go back in for Luis Suarez? Are you telling me Luis Suarez wouldn't have come back here? I think he would have done. When Barcelona said he's free to leave, John W. Henry really loves Luis Suarez. Why didn't we just go back into him on an 18-month deal? Can you imagine Luis Suarez rotating with that front three? It would have been a no-brainer. And it's always easy to look back in hindsight, but I'm telling you now, we didn't sign creative players, and that's the reason why we're struggling. Yes, we've got a lot of injuries in the defensive. Yes, we're not going to win titles with 20 different partnerships at the back. I get that. But in the summer, we have to go out and we have to buy 2, well, I'd say, if Salah goes, 2 more strikers, one to replace Salah, one to sit on the bench, and the creative central midfielder. So there you go. Haaland and Grealish is the 2 I would pick. And then maybe 1 more. I don't know. I'm just like yourselves. I'm just a supporter that's got up with a bit of depressed head because it's not nice to watch. Listen, I know we can't win every game. I'm not one of those that thinks, oh, you know, we should be winning games. 5 games in a row at Anfield losing. It's never happened in history. And that is the worrying sign. And I generally do believe it is down to the fact that there's no fans in that ground. And I know it's easy to say what everyone else is saying. No, Anfield is the 12th man. It always has been. So I really do believe that we'll beat Fulham on Sunday. And this is another thing. Everyone thinks, oh, that's it now. No, it ain't. Chelsea have got to go to Everton, right, on Monday, right? They could draw that easily. If we could beat Fulham on Sunday, we counts for an extra point they've got. It's not over. It never has been over. This league table this season has been mental. You can drop down 5 places and then go up 4 or 5 places within 2 wins. So I'm not writing off anything yet. I still believe we'll finish in the top 4. I do. But something has to change. I don't know whether it's going to be a system change, but Klopp, I think, should go back to how he played it when he first joined us, where our defence wasn't that good, so he just went all out gung-ho and tried to win games like the 4-3s or the 5-4s against Norwich. Just go out and attack them. And excuse me. And I think that's what we're not doing enough of. We're not taking opportunities to shoot. We're trying to find the perfect goal rather than, you know, smashing it. Bobby Firmino sometimes takes too many touches rather than smashing it. We've got to start shooting more, and that's the only thing I'm going to say. And like I say, it's difficult, and I know it's hard to sort of put your feelings across without coming across as being, you know, like negative. I'm not the most positive lad you can ever think of. So I do think we'll finish top 4. But I do think that Salah's time is ending. I really do, and I think that's based on the fact. I mean, his agent doing that's an absolute disgrace. You know, I mean, as if we need that at the moment. You know, we've just got Klopp's just lost his mum, Alisson's just lost his father. Fans can't get in the stadium. We're all, you know, we just lost Ian St John. Everything's all, you know, down and that at the moment. Everyone's fed up, and you've got a little knobhead agent making a statement like he's only asked because he'll get a 10 million fee out of Salah's next transfer. These people I despise them in football, and I'm sure you do as well. So let him sign on the dotted line anyway. I'm not bothered because no one's bigger than Liverpool Football Club. No one. If he wants to throw his toys out of his pram, even though I think he shouldn't have got brought off, if he wants to throw his toys out of his pram like he did last night, like a petulant teenager, right? He should have done better in the first hour that he had anyway, because he was awful. I know everybody else was, but so was he, right? There's no point running up and down the touchline. Get in the central area. Get him where you can affect the game. So, yeah, I would have took Bobby off, not Salah. But at the same time, he can't walk off that pitch disgusted because he rattled the crossbar 3 times and didn't score. He didn't have a sniff all game. So anyone could have come off. So I'm not going to hammer Klopp for that. Klopp deserves a little bit more respect. And the fact is, yeah, things are not going right for us at the moment. But that's because Klopp is perfect for Liverpool, because every club he's been at, they've sung "You'll Never Walk Alone." It's as if we all have to be as one. If we're not all as one, then things don't work. And we're not all as one at the moment. There's no supporters in the stadium. You know, everybody's down at the club. Now's your time to show who you are as a supporter. I always say that. You always find out who you are as a supporter when the team's not doing well. So we get back on the fight this weekend, and I'll start doing the videos for Fulham in the next probably tomorrow. So keep your chins up, and we'll talk in more detail about Fulham coming up this Sunday. We go again. You'll never walk alone.